Greetings and salutations. I'm Zook, your lovable LLFL, and welcome to Geeks Anonymous. Today we're bringing you a video on how to create a user interface menu using in-game user macros in Final Fantasy XIV. So without further ado, let's jump right into action. Yeah! Alright, now you see in the bottom right here, you see a little cog wheel. When I hover over it, it says menu. I click the button, and it brings up a little menu. So the first three are your basic return, teleport, and Geisel greens. No big deal. But I click on mounts, and we get this little pop-up here of the mounts that I frequently use. I can click collapse, and it deletes those that little pop-up. Going on to the minions, the same thing. And then battle classes, I actually have organized into DPS, healers, and tanks. I click on tanks, it brings up Paladin, um, Warrior, and Dark Knight. Now, if I click any one of these, it will automatically switch me to that class. Now you'll notice that when I go to my classes, I have all of the soul stones shown for each one of them, separated into the three categories. So I just like the way the aesthetic looks, and I'm just going to go into that real quick. All that is you go to user macros, and you create right here. I'll go to Dragoon since it's my main class. M icon, Soul of the Dragoon, item, and then GS change 8. That's pretty much it. Now, I made sure that they're all in order on my gear sets. So, if you go to classes, you'll see Paladin, Warrior, Dragoon, yada yada yada. So, none of them are going to change, is the way I do it. So, yeah, like I said, M icon, Soul of the Dragon, item, GS change 8. So, no matter what I press, it's going to change me to that specific class. Now, one thing to note when you do this, you have to have the Soul Stone in your inventory. Otherwise, it's just going to show up as your generic menu icon like that. So I did have to grind out all of the levels to at least 30 in order to unlock it like this. Quick little note, just wanted to share that, and we'll move on to the next category. Moving on to professions. The same deal, I've got it separated in crafting and gathering. So if I hit crafting, it shows all of the crafting classes, and gathering does the same. Now, the next one I have is companion commands, which has all of the commands as well as the companion menu that I can bring up. Or right now it's stapled, so I can't really do that. And the next one is squadron commands for when I'm in a squadron mission. And then I have one for emotes. And finally, one for treasure hunting. And the great thing about this is once I hit close, it all goes back to normal. Now, another thing I wanted to share with you is this little trick. You'll notice that I have um, no hotbars activated right now, but as soon as I press my battle mode, everything pops right back up. I put it away, and boom, everything's gone. So I'm going to go into a little depth of how to show you how to do this as well. So before I begin, I want to give a special shout out to Pup Plays, who created the YouTube video on how to do a similar user menu. That's actually where I learned this all from, as well as Nut Demon, who taught me how to do the battle stance to get rid of your user hotbars. So we're gonna go first off into HUD layout to see how I have everything set up. Now there are tons of videos on how to get it to this, so I'm not gonna go in depth on that. I'm just gonna show you what I have here. So I've got my class. These are my shared hotbars over here. So you'll see 5, 6, 7, and you notice that they are not currently visible, as well as 8, 9, and 10. These are visible. And over here are my class ones, class specifics, and you generally don't even have to touch those. So this is basically how I have my UI set up. We can click out of that, and then I can show you how it looks. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, oh, not that. I'm going to show you um, what the menus actually look like. So what you do here is you actually use other classes, their hotbars, as basically memory. And so what I'll show you what I mean. We'll make 5, 6, and 7 visible. And if I switch classes, let me show you. I believe it's botanist that I have them saved to right now. So we'll go to botanist. Botanist. It's gathering class now. So right here. Okay. So you see that this is my hotbar 5, 6, and 7. You'll notice that 5 is intentionally left blank. That is so I can clear out other hotbars from the menu. So basically, this is this state, this is this state, and so on and so forth. So let me show you what the macro looks like just to make it do this. So you're going to go into user macros and go to shared, and you'll see right here. So this one's really easy. That's what this hotbar is set to. So what I have it set to is hotbar copy botanist 6 share 10. Now that may seem confusing at first, but it makes a lot of sense once you're actually doing it. Alright, so I've made these visible once again. So basically what we want to do is this is specific to botanist. Botanist 5, botanist 6, and botanist 7. So what this does, this is right here, is a shared 10. So we want hotbar copy botanist 6. So that means it's going to copy botanist 6 and put it into shared 10. So that's exactly what it does. I press this, which is currently botanist 7, and I click it, and it becomes botanist 6 instead. Okay, then go on to the closed one, and this has a couple more rows, but basically you'll see that it is currently right here. So hotbar copy botanist 7 to shared 10. So 7 is here. So that's going to instantly make that go back to where it is. That way you can click back and forth. Now what these are right here, copy botanist 5 to share 9 and copy botanist 5 to share 8. The reason that's there is because this is botanist 5. So that's going to clear out 8 and 9. So let's say that I have my emotes all visible. It's going to copy botanist 5, which is blank, to 8 and 9. So that gets rid of all of the menus and goes back to this one. So, and that's basically the gist of it. Most of the classes you go through, and they're just different states of the same macro. You just store different things to different classes. It might seem a little confusing. Pup Plays does go in a little bit more depth than I intended to in this video, but I'm going to show you my other classes and what they look like. So if I go to the professions again, I have most of them in the professions because they tend to be ones that I don't use a whole lot, other than my other battle classes. So if I go to fishing, you'll see that this right here is my mounts. So if I click on mounts, it duplicates both of those, and you can see that right here as well. So I have this icon right here. So M icon flying mount roulette because I wanted this icon. I'm going to include at the bottom as well a list of the macro icons that you can use. We'll get rid of that C that's actually accidentally there. So you can have access to that. So what this does, again, it's the same thing as before, just different things. So my class right now is Fisher. So hotbar copy Fisher 7 to share 9, and then hotbar copy Fisher 6 to share 8. So Fisher 7 is right here, and I want that to be here. And then Fisher 6 is right here, and I want that to be here. So that's pretty much the extent of it. You'll see that this is actually part of my commands right here. It's broken up into two because I wanted to compile as many of them together as I could. But that's basically the gist of it. So that concludes the user menu part. We're going to go ahead and um, hide those menus once more. So basically, once you hide them, you don't see them no matter what class you are, and everything's good and hunky dory. All right, so moving on to the macro that gets rid of the hotbars down here, so you can have a clearer view of your screen. Now, I'm an RPer. I'm a filthy Balmungian, so I like to have as much room as I can that I can just drag out my chat bar and whatnot, and have as much of the screen visible as I possibly can. Um, so you'll see, press Z, I'm ready for battle. Press Z again, and I'm now out of battle. So that macro is really easy. I'll just go back to my user macros, and right here, this top one, um, M icon circle of scored is just for flavor, and then we've got hotbar display 1, 2, 3, 4, and then toggle after it. So what that does, it makes it so I press it once, it appears, I press it again, it disappears. And BM is just what makes it open, and close. That's your default Z button, but we're going to switch the default to the macro instead. And I also have it so I've got the hotbar that actually is identical to the cancel button right here. So it automatically minimizes all of that. I'll give you an example by having my emotes open. So here, have all my emotes open. I want to get rid of them. Press Z, everything's back to just an open screen. So that's the same exact one that I went into depth earlier. Now there will be times where you click the button out of order or you sheath it after combat, and you'll have everything disappeared but your weapons actually open, or like this, and everything's reversed. So there's a really easy fix for that. If that happens, just double tap the Z key, and the animation takes long enough that everything lines up once more. Now we're going to change your Z key. So instead of just having the sheath or unsheath, it actually does the macro. So you'll see up here on my hotbar 4, I have Z and then it has the icon. So the way to do that is really easy. You just go to keybind, you go to hotbar, and then scroll down to hotbar 4 in my case. You'll see hotbar Z. You just assign it to that, and then take that macro that we made earlier and just drag it to that slot, and it's that easy. So that pretty much concludes today's tutorial. I want to give a special shout out to um, Nut Demon and Pup Plays once again. Their videos were invaluable. Their links are gonna a link to their page is gonna be down below in the description. Also, a shout out to Axiom, who have given me so much support in recent weeks, and I probably wouldn't be playing Final Fantasy right now if it weren't for them. And of course, a special shout out to my wife Mav. Thanks for watching, and you're my biggest support and friend. But other than that, you guys all have a good day, and this is Zook signing off. Toodaloo.